Hi, and welcome to the Dingers Podcast, episode 64. This is your host, Mitch. I'm here with my boys, Jeff and Kevin. Kevin, how was your Christmas?
It was good. It was good. It was revealed to our kids we're taking them to Disney World over spring break. We don't really give them gifts a whole lot. We do like an experience, air quotes,
Nice
experience. So yeah. They are excited.
So, Disney World, is that Florida or California?
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Yeah, I've been there before. In fact, Keaton, my middle son, was my wife was carrying him at the time that we went last time.
Oh, he's too lazy to walk?
Well, inside. She was preggers with him. Yep, accurate.
How was your Christmas there, Jeffrey?
It wasn't too bad. It was kind of. I didn't typically do what I normally do. Normally, I go to my brother's on Christmas Eve, stay the night, wake up with the kids, and they tear open packages for 2 hours. I got tired of being Santa and staying up late Christmas Eve, drinking beer and scotch, assembling Christmas gifts from Santa. So I went up Friday mid-morning and stayed for the afternoon. I read 127 books, put together 96 puzzles. I participated in the 3-marker challenge, which for those of you who don't know is you blindfold yourself and you dig into the bin of markers and you grab 3 markers. Whatever 3 you get, you draw a picture with.
Oh,
nice.
Yes.
So I drew a pink house with green shutters and a brown door. So
not what I would have assumed you would have drawn with those 3 colors.
Yeah.
Keep it a PG. So
Mitch,
how was yours, Mitch?
It was good. Went up to Northeast Iowa, spent some time outside walking through the woods. Yeah, it was good. Good time. Good restful couple days away. But ready to get back at it. I mean, today was the first workout back from after the 12 days of Christmas workout that we had a couple last week. And so, got to get back on the grind, get back in shape. Eating healthy won't start happening until January. So, but baby steps, we're starting here. This podcast is presented to you by Shy City Sports. If you're interested in all things Chicago sports, this is your place. Go check out all the great forums, all the great podcasts, the Keep It 100 Bears podcast, Good Guys Talk Back, the White Sox podcast, the Big Red Bus, the Bulls podcast. DeMar DeRozan has just been lighting it up. So go check out the Bulls podcast. This podcast is also sponsored by Toppling Goliath. I have a Toppling Goliath beer here, drinking.
Yep. I'm checking out the Digital Dawn today. They're double
mighty tasty beer and
glorious. beautiful
Decorah, Iowa. If you're interested where you can find Toppling Goliath beer, they have a beer finder at tgbrews.com. So go check out tgbrews.com. I know they're in Hy-Vee, Fairway, Benny's Beverage Depot in Chicago. So go get yourself some Toppling Goliath. Yeah. But speaking of working out, so we're back. New Year's Eve or New Year's resolutions. Everybody's trying to get back in shape. And these boys in our minor league system, because yes, the lockout is still going on, so no baseball with the major league guys, but our minor league system can still meet in Arizona, and they've been doing work there. And I don't know if you guys have been following like Max Bain and these boys on Twitter, but they've been posting videos of them deadlifting.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been checking it out?
Yeah.
I did. No, I'm scared.
It's kind of funny. Yeah, it's kind of funny to see them. I'm like, wow, those are some big guys lifting. 500. Okay, wonderful. Those are some big numbers. Huge.
Yeah.
Well, I may have started something for us. So we're friends of the pod, Max Bain. We've had him on last year, and he's been posting all these hype videos of himself, Burl Caraway, newbie Jordan Wicks, who he just drafted, Manuel Rodriguez, Riley Martin, Luke Little, all these guys in our minor league system deadlifting and putting up some big numbers. And so I challenged them, said, hey, how about we have a Cubs podcast host versus Cubs player deadlift challenge? And he took it And so we're going to have a little challenge of throwing up some big weights on our deadlift. So guys, are you ready to challenge them and put up some big weights yourself and outlift these guys?
When I'm done, my hamstrings will not be attached to my glutes. I'm going all out.
Yep.
Well, here's a video of Max Bain doing his.
For 5?
525 for 5. Max Bain.
Yikes.
And so Manuel Rodriguez, he put up something. It looked like a lot of weights on his hex bar.
Can you put that back up again?
Yep. He's off a little bit of a platform.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
when you're that tall, maybe it needs a little help. Don't want to tighten up the back or anything like that.
Yep.
I'm 6'7", depending on which bank I'm walking out of. I might need help.
True.
Well, not only Max Bain has been putting up big numbers, but Burl Caraway, 515. Riley Martin, 555. Manuel Rodriguez, he didn't put a number. It just was fire emojis. So I'm guessing it was a lot, but it looked like a lot. There was a lot of weight on that bar. Luke Little, 565.
That's not a little amount of weight. That's a lot.
That's definitely not a little amount of weight. So, I mean, we're CrossFitters. We can do this. Jeffrey, you can put up some big weight, right? We don't hex bar deadlift very much. These boys are hex bar deadlifting. How much do you think you can just regular barbell deadlift?
Well,
on a good day. I'm like,
on a good day,
Jeffrey's best day.
I bet I could probably do close to 455 with a straight barbell after our strength cycle that we've been on for like 12 weeks.
Yeah, we've been on the cycle for a while.
Right.
My previous best is like 405, but I feel like my technique has gotten a lot better over this 12 weeks, which I think I was lacking that previously.
So possibly you could get, with a hex bar, you're supposed to get like 50 to 70 pounds more. You're right there with
I'm shooting for over a quarter ton.
Do it.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever hex bar deadlifted. So
I haven't since high school.
For me.
Well, I issued the challenge and I said, gather your team and I'll make our Avengers assemble and hopefully that we can put up some numbers. So we're going to start posting videos ourselves of getting our deadlifts out there and throwing it in their faces. So hopefully we can put up some big numbers. I have no idea. I've never hex bar deadlifted. So I know my like straight bar deadlift, I think the most I've ever done is 425. But
I guess, well, this week while you guys are off, I guess we wanted to meet at the gym, like at open gym at 3 when I got to work.
Yeah, maybe
let's do it. Challenge is going down, boys. Better watch it, Max.
I'll tell you what, Joe Kilgallen had better be our anchor.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. So, I mean, my hamstrings were super tight, and so hopefully they can loosen up and be ready to go by the time it's go time, and we need to put up some big weight against these boys.
Yeah, we better have a easy workout on Wednesday beforehand.
Yep.
Just to loosen up, just get ready to go.
But it's great to see. I don't know if you saw the video of our boy DJ Hurst posted a video on his Instagram today of him pitching live. And I don't know who's up to bat, but he drills a line drive right back at Hurst's face. And he puts his glove up there and catches it like bang, bang, and saves his life. But go check out these boys on Instagram, on YouTube. Our minor leaguers are still putting in work, still getting better at the Cubs facility. And it's great to see that them kind of, I don't know, building some good team unity and team chemistry all the way through and still working out in Arizona. So it's great to see.
I agree.
It is. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to see these guys play in Des Moines next year. Got a lot to look forward to.
Yeah. Well, our boy Jake, who usually is a host on our podcast, couldn't make it tonight because he is in Chicago with his family. But he posted a tweet on Twitter that was, it kind of went off there for a while of a lot of people commenting on it, and it was pretty interesting. So here's the question he posed, and it's kind of Christmas themed. It's Christmas time. He says, "Hey, Cubs fans, in a non-lockout world, which deal would you rather wake up to on Christmas morning? Bryant, 6 years for $180 million, or Carlos Correa, 8 years for $304 million? What would you rather do?"
Well, I responded to that tweet, and I kind of like the club-friendly Bryant deal that he has there, because if you can get him re-signed, you got somebody that can play the corner, infield, plus all 3 outfield positions now. So you kind of got a little bit of a Swiss Army knife there. Correa's deal is, to me, is not club friendly, and I see that number in the last big contract that we signed, I think in the offseason of 2014, 2015 is when we got Jason Hayward. That was, 8 years, $188 million. That really hasn't panned out. The one thing I'm afraid of with Carlos Correa is he's already won a World Series. So, how hard is he going to play? Does he want to win another one, or does he just want to get paid? And always is in the back of my mind is that season when the Kung Fu Panda went from San Francisco to Boston and plumped up, broke a belt sliding into third, and had a horrible season. But made a lot of money.
He did make a lot of money. What are your thoughts, Kevin?
I don't know. I'm conflicted here a little bit, but for me, when I first read it, if I was waking up Christmas morning and finding out that the Cubs actually did sign Correa, I don't know. That one for me immediately as a Christmas morning gift, I liked that a little bit more. One, because a lot of folks are kind of pining after Correa. We see it as a win for both the front office as actually going out and signing someone big after they signed Stroman, and kind of shores up that potentially defensive hole of a bunch of our pitchers need a really good shortstop because they're ground ball pitchers. Yep. And you get that guy. He hasn't really regressed in his numbers over the years. He's kind of been a really kind of stable bat. It would be really nice to have one of those in the lineup, especially if we're throwing out Frank the Tank and Frank Schwindel and seeing what they can do next year, along with Madrigal. I don't know. That's the one, if I had to look at as a Christmas morning gift, I see Correa as more of a gift than Bryant on that one.
Yeah, I like that you brought up that we need a shortstop that can pick it. And really we have, hopefully Wisdom still has a good year next year. We have some outfielders that can play. And it's right now our biggest hole is shortstop. I don't know if Nico Horner is going to be able to fill that. And so that's where you're talking about we need a guy that can go and pick it. We have Stroman, who's a ground ball pitcher. We have Hendricks, who's a ground ball pitcher. Wade Miley, who's a ground ball pitcher. Even Justin Steele, ground ball pitcher. So we need a guy in that middle infield that can go up the middle and get it, go deep into the hole and still be able to pick it and get guys out. So yeah, it's interesting. I mean, when you break it down, Bryant, $38 million a year over 6 years, or Correa, $38 million a year over 8 years. It's not a ton of difference. It would all come down to, I would like to see maybe Correa get around a 7-year deal with the Cubs. Now, that's probably highly unlikely. Correa is looking for a 10-year deal. He wants something in the neighborhood of what Seager got with the Rangers. The Cubs are going to try to convince him, along with Stroman, to take a 7-year, 8-year deal with a whole bunch of AAVs built into it, where he's getting additional bonus with MVP or additional bonus for making the playoffs. A couple of years ago, the Astros tried to sign Correa to a 5-year extension for $160 million. It didn't work out. The Tigers are said to offer Correa a 10-year, $275 million deal, and he turned it down. And if you look at even Francisco Lindor, he's getting $34 million a year with a whole bunch of AAVs built into it. Corey Seager's getting $32 million a year, $32.5 a year. That raises the ceiling a little bit, or the floor a little bit on what he's going to be looking for. I just don't know if we're going to get him for what we want him or what Hoyer's willing to give up. And so if it was 8 years, 304, I'm looking at that as that's not that bad of a deal. I don't think Bryant is worth $30 million a year. I don't think he's worth that. I think he wants to get that. I don't think he's going to. I don't think that Bryant, his slug and his power just isn't there. And right now, that's what you're looking for in the Cubs lineup. They need slug and power. They have a whole bunch of guys that can put the bat on the ball. And I think him playing so many spots almost hurts him in this bit. And so I bet if it was like him getting 27 a year, 24 a year, that's more realistic for me. But I don't know. Do you think that would be good, or do you think that they're going to probably end up with going with a backup option, plan B option of signing Trevor Story? But I don't really like that option at all. What are you guys thoughts of going out and getting Trevor Story if Correa doesn't work out?
I think he's the plan B, to be honest with you.
Bruce Levine did say yesterday on 670 The Score that the Cubs do not see Trevor Story as an option. Now that's just Bruce Levine, and he's also the same guy that announced that the Cubs and Carlos Correa have mutual interest. I mean, anytime you're looking for a relationship, you kind of need that mutual interest or attraction there, and apparently there's some mutual interest. Maybe they need to send a love note, get Stroman to pass the note, since they legally can't have their agents do it.
Right. No team rep person can actually reach out. Man, I don't know. The Trevor Story thing, to me, if Trevor Story's your plan B, I'd rather just go with ride Nico for a season. I'd rather see him out there every day than Trevor Story.
The bad part is if he's not healthy this year. I mean, he missed a lot of action last year. Who's playing short?
Yeah, I mean, we still got
Sergio
Bodie.
Alcantara.
Still got Bodie.
He's hurt.
Yeah, I know.
Always.
Did he have shoulder surgery?
He did, yeah.
He did.
Yep.
He's not going to be ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Could get a little dicey middle of the season.
So, Jake, we really have no answer for you on this. If it was 8-304 and that's what the Cubs walked away with, getting Correa, I would be happy with that. I don't want to go 10 years. I would go 8 years, but an opt-out after 2 or 3, so he could go with another team. And if he wants a no-trade clause, fine. But I would put in a whole bunch of AAVs in there and try to get him where he would possibly opt out. Kind of like a Trevor Bauer type deal when he had it with the Dodgers, where he had to opt out after 1 or 2 years. And even Nick Castellanos opting out. So, I mean, that could save some money.
One of those he can bet on himself. If he has a really good year on that opt-out year, he can go do what he wants after that.
Now, a lot of people think that Carlos Correa is just using the Cubs to get the prettier girl. Seeing if he could get another team to be jealous and give him more money, which, I mean, that's possible.
You're going to have that every offseason.
It just thinks that the Cubs, who should be the pretty girl, getting the...
That's where I think I almost view this as a Correa for a big amount of money makes me think the Cubs are acting like a big market team, like we want them to. They're
acting like the homecoming king, gonna get the pretty girl. No,
right?
That's right.
I like it.
Yeah, so I mean, I would love to see it. I want this lockout to end so a flurry of deals gets done, because they're floating numbers back and forth to each other behind the scenes with all the lockout going
There's
on.
A pad and a pen, and it's getting slid back and forth across the table.
Yeah, they're doing some things.
Related to this, I have loved what Stroman has been doing. if you don't follow him on Twitter, he's got a lot of positive vibes he throws out in general. But then
he's giving away tickets like left and right. So if you aren't following the dude right now, if you retweet an obvious shirt, you get 3 obvious shirts and possibly 3 tickets. So
right. Yeah. But he's just so positive. And then he's been tweeting at Correa like, hey, fam, come join me over here. Yeah. I got a clubhouse spot for you. Come on. Like, gotta love it.
Love it. All right. Next on the docket, let's talk a little bit of extension talk. Now, we've talked extensions probably going on since we started the podcast. I think we've talked extensions. And mainly it's been focused around the big 3 of Bryant, Baez, and Rizzo. And now the big talk is Contreras. Will we extend him or will we not? But there's also another guy out there that I think we need to talk about, but nobody's talking about. Do you know that David Ross is entering his final year of his original 3-year contract?
I did not realize that until I saw it in the show notes.
Yes, he is entering his final year, which, I mean, his first year got cut short because of COVID.
He should have a COVID year.
And then last year he coached, but then he got his team ripped away from him halfway through the year. Right. He had to coach basically 2 different teams. And so what are your thoughts on, does he deserve a contract extension? And will he get it?
I think he deserves at least 1 more year, if not 2. If you look at the way his managing career started with getting everybody jacked up to play during spring training and then, hey, we're not going to play for a while, so go back home. So it was a shortened season. Didn't we win the NL Central?
We did win the NL Central.
And went to the playoffs. We did not do very well. And then last year, yes, at the trade deadline when all those 3, they couldn't get a deal worked out, extend them. They traded away what everybody thought was the core of the team, and it was like coaching 2 different teams. So I think he deserves at least another year or 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with Jeff here. Like, not even realizing it, we're on the 3rd year of his contract, which we all knew it was 3 years, but to go from such disparate seasons. I mean, he's coached 2 years, but it feels like 3 different seasons so far. And honestly, I don't have a whole lot to gripe about.
I'd say almost 4 seasons. Like spring training was 1 season. Like it was, it's just,
But I don't have anything really gripe about how he's managed the game. Maybe a little bit with the bullpen now and again, but I think you get that with any manager you throw in there.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have his situation with, for a while there, who could he throw out to pitch an inning when the starter gets blown out in the first inning and a third, when you think, maybe this guy ruh-roh. But I think he's done a fantastic job. I'd like to see him locked in for 2 more years. I'd like to see hopefully next year a stable year, and then the year after that kind of a push. I kind of think it kind of seems to be the goal if we don't sign a couple more big players, and see how he does with those kinds of expectations.
Well, my thing is, what's your other options out there? Are you going to go get like Clint Hurdle? Like who?
Oh God, please
that's
no.
like the new trend is like, let's go get these guys that used to be managers a couple of years ago to come back, like Tony La Russa
and Buck Showalter
or Buck Show to the Mets. Right? I mean,
really,
it's kind of like a trend. Like a couple of years ago, it was hire guys who have never had a manager experience at all. Minors, nothing. Majors, nothing. Let's hire you. And that's how Ross got hired. And now the new wave is let's hire all these old farts that.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think there's any other options. I don't have a gripe with Ross. I think he's a great manager. I think he builds a good clubhouse. I think the players like him.
You're right, Mitch. Like I was trying to think of that after work when I was on my hike out at McFarland. I'm like, well, if you don't extend him, who are they getting?
Right.
Who's available?
Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah, they told that man he couldn't manage the Chicago Cubs because he didn't have any manager experience. So he went to the minor league teams and managed there, and then they still wouldn't give him the job. So then he went to Philadelphia
and didn't do well.
So I don't know.
Yeah, I would like to see him get a couple more years extension, and I want. if Jed finally does the very first time, get it out of the way early. I want it to be like one of the first signings after the lockout ends. Let's get a deal in place with him. Go get a deal in place with Contreras. Pay the man. And then go out and get Correa.
I like it. I like that. That's I think is that Hoyer's New Year's resolution right there.
Yes, that should be Hoyer's New Year's resolution. Speaking of New Year's resolutions, we have some Cubs players' New Year's resolutions that we have written for them that maybe if they're listening, they can take up. First on the list is Jason Hayward. Jason Hayward's New Year's resolution is he's going to be starting a business. He's going on a business venture. He's going to make bench cushions. He figured, why not? He might be riding the pine a lot this year. So he's going to find a comfortable seat next to David Ross and invest in bench cushions. So I think that's a really good.
A nice comfy seat. Sounds like a great idea for Jason Hayward. I like it.
So that's his New Year's resolution.
Well, yeah. I mean,
The look on Jeff's face right now. Wait for Jeff to be like, wait, he can't make a resolution to not hit the ball to second base? Like, come on, guys.
not strike out, not hit the ball to second base.
Nope, it's just better to not have him on the field at all.
Right.
And just move him over.
I like it.
I'll tell you what, he can fill up the Gatorade tub for the equipment manager and those towels with the menthol in them that people use to wait. He can make those.
But he's not making enough money from the Cubs, so he's going to decide to go out on a business venture and make bench cushions.
Are we in the last year of his contract yet?
Nope.
What do we have? Like 2 more seasons after this
2.
one?
2. You guys have any New Year's resolutions for any players?
Well, yeah. I'd like Frank Schwindel to not tank this year and just keep hitting tanks. And Patty Wisdom, stay as hot as your dance moves.
Oh, yes. I like it. I think he's got some competition on the team now with Stroman there.
Yeah, They do. Hopefully neither one of them blows an ACL while they're having a dance off in the outfield warming up for a game.
Right.
How terrible would that be?
Right. So I had one for Ian Happ. He needs to heat up quickly and get used to the cold Chicago. So I think his resolution is to get hot, stay hot, and I hope he picks up some nice warm underoos for those cold Chicago April, May.
Heated skivvies.
Yep. Rafael Ortega's New Year's resolution is to this winter go down south, find a little league team, find a team to face that has a whole bunch of righties, start out easy, get confidence of just raking 50-mile-an-hour pitches from the right side because he can't hit righties worth a dang, and so he needs to get comfortable hitting righties. So why not go and hit against little leaguers down south?
I like it. Good goal there, Ortega.
Clint Frazier's New Year's resolution is welcome to Chicago. Your job is to move to Chicago, grow out your beautiful orange beard again, get your red locks growing because you're a happy boy because you're out of New York in the dumb Yankee rules. Do you, bro? You're free. Fly free, buddy.
In this day and age where grown men cannot have facial hair unless it's the creeper mustache.
Well, he got into it with New York all the time because he wanted to do his thing, and they're like, "No, you have to be this way." And so he hated New York.
Some Instagram accounts just put like December 23rd is when Johnny Damon signed with the Yankees. Like I don't know how many years ago, but they showed a picture of him in Boston, and then the day he signed with the Yankees, and I could barely recognize him. Sellouts.
Right.
Not only do you go play for your arch rival, now you gotta look like a schoolboy too.
Yep. I had one for Kyle Hendricks. He needs to get back to form. And by that I mean, not showing any emotion on the field. He cracked probably too many smiles last season, and we saw how that went. So back to form.
Yep. I have one for Nick Madrigal.
Oh.
We talked about our boys in the minor leagues lifting some weights. talked about us lifting some weights. Buddy, you need to get in the weight room because you need to get some pop in your bat. We love singles. We love contact, but you need to add some power to that bat. So get in there, hit the weights, buddy.
I like it.
Good one. Another good one for another infielder is Nico Horner. You do play in the infield. You don't need to go out to center field and bump into Ian Happ and have a conversation. You can do that in the dugout.
Unless next year you're playing center field, then yeah, go into the outfield because you may end up playing a little bit of outfield this year.
And if you do play center, don't wander over to left and run into your pal Ian Happ if he's playing over there. There he is.
That's awesome. Frank the Tank.
Yeah. Wilson Contreras, it's time for you to get a deal. So pay the man. That's your New Year's resolution. And if you don't, let him have it because he needs to be paid.
I totally
Who's
agree.
controlling the checkbook for this organization? It's like the past 3
that would
years.
be Tom Ricketts.
It's like the last 3 seasons they haven't wanted to bust it open.
Hey, they busted open a little bit. I believe in them a little bit. Hey, they went and got Stroman. You got to give them a little bit of credit. They're going to do what they need to do.
Did
I trust.
come out of this
Trust the
thing when they
process.
signed him?
Jeffrey, trust the process. They're going to do it.
I agree. To make smart, intelligent moves. I'd like to see him make more than 2 moves.
Yep.
I mean,
it's lockout. They can't do anything. They're gonna make some moves.
Even
I
the
believe.
nerdy kid in high school with glasses that was in the band had a couple of moves.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I hold out hope, just like Mitch. I think they're gonna go get a shortstop. I think they're gonna go get a lefty bat.
Yep.
And then some relief pitching maybe. I had another. It's not a player, but last season we were down in Iowa, and there was a certain guy out in the outfield or out in the stands, screaming at the pitchers when they went over the pitch clock.
I think that was awesome.
Which, with our lockout, that might be a new rule that they add into the major leagues.
And I think as a resolution, you add the pitch clock, and then that guy has got to make it to every game to scream, "Throw the ball!"
That guy was awesome.
God,
There's
he was
no way
screaming.
he was able to talk the next day.
Okay, so we need to let our listeners. This dude, for 8 straight innings, just rode the opposing pitcher. He was watching that pitch clock like a hawk. And anytime it got within 5 seconds, he'd be yelling, "Throw the ball! Throw the ball!"
Yep. And he was up in a box seat behind home plate, and he was standing. They have those outdoor seating right in front of him. He's standing out there, just screaming at the top of his lungs. Oh, it was a sight to behold.
And then he was yelling at the umps, "You gotta do something about this!"
Yeah, umps, look at the clock. Throw the ball.
Is that the game we went to when we played the Pittsburgh minor league team?
Yep.
And what's his name that's dating?
Oh yeah, he got tossed.
Vanessa
Hutchins got thrown out.
Yep.
Yeah, he can score from third on Vanessa Hutchins. I'll tell you that right now.
I just love when you get tossed at Iowa. You have to walk all the way across the field and go all the way out through the outfield.
Yeah,
it's gotta be the worst.
It's a long walk of shame. That was the same game that the Iowa Cubs manager got tossed before we even got settled.
Yeah, that was
first or second inning or something.
It was before the game even started. It was like the very first hit down the line, and then boom, he's gone.
Yep, because we hadn't even set up our podcast equipment, and he was already tossed.
Yeah,
you gotta love it.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna end this podcast with this or that baseball edition.
Oh,
okay.
All right, so radio broadcast or TV broadcast? What would you rather listen to or watch?
Radio.
Can I ask some follow-up questions?
Oh,
you get one.
Damn it. Who is the announcers?
Cubs. It's Cubs announcers.
Okay. No disrespect, JD and Boat, but I'm gonna have to go with Pat Hughes on this.
Radio. I'm a radio guy too. I like listening to the radio. Just grew up listening to the radio a lot, so radio. Bleachers or grandstand? If you were to go to Wrigley, would you sit in the bleachers behind the fence, or would you sit in the grandstand behind home plate?
Am I with my friends or a girl?
Ooh. You're by yourself.
Bleachers, I can make friends.
That's true, folks. Yeah, I'd go bleachers. I want to see from that view first time.
Okay. First time you're gonna see that view. Okay.
Yeah, because I haven't been to Wrigley, so I'd love to see it.
I've sat in the bleachers plenty of times. I've sat in both. I enjoy both places. Okay, you're going to a game. Would you rather have a brat or a hot dog?
Brat.
Okay, brat.
Yep.
Popcorn or peanuts?
Popcorn.
Peanuts.
Would you rather go to a day or a night game?
Ooh.
Night.
Yeah.
Dude,
this guy sweats a lot. Jeff knows.
I'm a fair-skinned ginger. I'm gonna burn in the sun.
Yeah.
Depending on where you sit at Wrigley, you can get underneath.
Not in the bleachers.
I have never been to a night game. I've been to a day game that went extras that got dark, but it wasn't a night game, and so I would say I want to go to a night game. My son wanted to ask this: would you rather see major leaguers have metal bats or wooden bats?
Ooh, wood.
Wood.
And I said I would just like one game of them hitting tanks with a metal bat.
Right. I also think the pitchers need a net in front of them. Maybe even the infielders. That
Like,
ball would be hot coming off.
I was like, that would be clearing the rooftops.
Yeah. Yep.
I would like to see some
smashing windows
on an aluminum bat and a major league hitter. The exit velo, all that stuff.
Just hitting dingers like crazy.
So he busted the guts out of a ball.
I might want to watch Javi take BP with a metal bat sometime. That might be yikes.
All right. Would you rather watch a perfect game or somebody hit for the cycle?
The cycle. Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't mind perfect games or watching pitchers duels at home, but I don't in the ballpark. I want to see some hitting. I want to see some hit and run.
I do enjoy watching good pitching, especially when you don't really know that it's happening for a while, and then you realize, well, you're in the seventh and nobody's been on first base. So, but I like hitting. I like the chess match that the game turns into when the score is close. The pitchers are having a hard time getting people out, but I'm going to go with hitting for the cycle over a perfect game.
Yeah, I go back and forth. Because a lot of times when you hit for the cycle, it's like it all comes down to that last at bat. So really the only exciting thing is that last at bat that player gets up to bat, where a perfect game, you're watching a masterpiece the whole game. That's my only thing where I would rather watch maybe a perfect game. I, in high school, took part in a game where a guy homered for the cycle against us. He had a solo home run, a 2-run home run, a 3-run home run, and a grand slam all in the same game.
Yikes.
So I took part in that, got to witness that. So I guess I've seen a sort of cycle.
He had 10 RBIs just on home runs. Holy smokes.
What did he hit first?
He hit the 2-run home run first. Then he hit a solo. Then he had a grand slam. And then he hit a 3-run. Just the odds of coming up to bat in those situations. But he did. He went on to play baseball at Iowa.
That makes sense.
All right. Would you rather have John Vincent or Wayne Mesmer singing the Star Spangled Banner before the game? So John Vincent's the opera guy, and Wayne Mesmer is like the guy who always is at Wrigley doing the Star Spangled Banner.
Mesmer.
I kind of like the opera guy. Does he do it at the Bears a lot?
I think he has.
I don't think anyone's really watching the Bears right now.
Well, no, not this year. I think it was a couple years ago. I happened to catch it was when you have kids, you catch what part of the game you can. And I happened to catch the beginning of each Bears game and saw the same guy, big beard.
Yep, big beard.
Right? Come up and sing the national anthem. And I was like,
he did it.
He does a pretty classy job
in the Cubs playoffs, he did it.
Yeah.
The game that I went to last year for opening day 2.0, he did it. But Wayne Mesmer's like been the guy
Right.
for like years, like him and his wife doing Star
Honestly, if it was one of those two, I'd be happy because
Yep.
you can get some really terrible people.
I've had both. I've been to games where they've both done it, but I think just because I grew up listening to Wayne Mesmer always singing it, it's like you gotta go with Wayne Mesmer. All right. Would you rather attend opening day or game 1 of the NLDS with the Cubs in it?
That's a tough one.
I'm gonna go game 1 of the NLDS. There might be a little more energy and vibe to Wrigleyville.
Yeah, I'd go with the same.
Because opening day is going to be a little chilly.
That is also true.
But then the NLDS there could be a nip in the air there too, but everyone's going to be hammered.
Yep, hammered and willing to hug and like share space.
Yeah.
What if I changed it to opening day or NLCS?
No, I'm still going with the playoffs.
What about game 1 of the World Series?
Oh, it's gotta be World Series.
Yeah. Definitely World Series.
Yep. All right. High socks or low socks?
Oh, high socks. That's the way I wore them when I played.
Yep. High socks. Totally agree.
Okay. So high school, I wore high socks. College, I wore like Manny Rodriguez, like baggy pants, hanging low, down.
How'd you run?
Like Manny. So, but like, I think I'm a pants down.
Oh, interesting. No,
Yeah.
high socks here.
All right. Well, that does it for this or that. Good job, guys.
Nice.
For this or that. So that was just sprung on you guys. Good job. You guys hung in there. Yeah. You have any other where I was trying to think of good this or that's baseball style ones? And
we doing old style or Budweiser?
Ooh.
Are you at the ballpark?
Yes.
Old style.
Cubs fan Budman. I got to go with Harry on this one.
I'll tell you what, it's hard to find old style around here.
It is.
Like, get a little smorgasbord of beer for opening day, an old style, a Budweiser.
I mean, Toppling Goliath. That's what I would
right.
go with.
Yep. Of course, it'd be Toppling Goliath.
That was a trick question, and you both fell for that.
Right. Oh man.
You have any others? That was a good one. Nope.
Powder blue, pinstripes.
Pinstripes.
Yep.
Well, boys, next week we have Mike Dubs on the podcast. Big, huge Cubs fan. And then we have just some more guests lined up before the beginning of the season. And hopefully this lockout gets done so we can actually talk about some big moves. But we got a lot to look forward to. Nothing really to complain about. We can still talk baseball. There's no games being canceled at the moment. So still a lot to be talked about with these Chicago Cubs. So thanks for listening to episode 64 of the Dingers podcast.
Yep. Go get some Toppling Goliath, folks.